G'day everyone, welcome to another video here for Old Rigs Down Under. What we're looking at here at the moment is an A4T-1600 white tractor, which is a Minneapolis Moline. For those of you that don't know, these tractors were built from about 1969 to about 1973 or 4 or thereabouts, and there was very few came to Australia. There was about 16 or 18 or something like that. So this one here I've had for about 12 months or so, a little bit longer probably, and it's been retrofitted with a Cummins engine. Originally they had the 585 Minneapolis Moline diesel engine, which was also in the 2155s and the 2270 whites and the 2150 whites. But yeah, this is a bit of an unusual conversion. With the supercharger on it, so it's a 743 cubic inch supercharged Cummins NHRS. Pretty early. I've been told with the piston squirters on this one, the blower and the exhaust setup, it was most probably an industrial engine that could have been as much as 300 horsepower. Anyway, a quick little sideline to it. The engine was stuck in it when I bought it, and so it's had a bit of water go through it, but I've managed to free the engine up. About 6 months ago, or 3 or 4 months ago, I actually managed to get the engine started, but it ran away to full noise, so we had to use a block of wood on the intake up there to choke it and stop it. So I've since had the fuel pump looked at, and the metering valve was stuck in the pump, so I've got the pump here to put back on it, and I'm going to attempt to do that. I'm going to charge some batteries up. Got the battery charger there just to give it a bit of a go. It's got 3 batteries in the back of it here, and I've got another one, big one around the other side, just hooked up to the starter motor directly. Look, when I tried to do it last time, it was the end of winter, so it wasn't overly enthusiastic. Decompression lever there. So what I'm probably going to do this time round, because I'll be by myself, is probably rig up a starter button on it, so I can work it from over here. And obviously the fuel pump's going to bolt onto here, so I'll just work the lever there, work the decompression lever, and I'll take that the top pipe off there, which goes across to your supercharger. I'll take it off and just be ready with a block of wood, just in case the same thing wants to happen again. But it should be right. So I've run some new fuel hoses, got some new hydraulic hoses on this side which were a bit perished, and it's got new oil in it. So hopefully it won't be too much of a shit fight to get it going. So I mean, what's happened here with the other tractor, we've got the 2135, just moving it slightly. The dual wheels were removed before harvest to put on a mate's windrower. Pretty wet year here, a pretty wet season for windrowing canola, and it was the perfect size for their windrower. So what they did, they took out these long studs and the spacers, so they used the rims and then the spacers, and it fitted perfectly on their machine. But obviously, because those long rods have got a bit of length about them, to look under here, under that framework, you can obviously only pick out 2 or 3 at any one time. So we just rolled it forward, and that's the idea of having this other tractor hooked up to it. So anyway, I've just mounted this other air cleaner on it. It did have this old Donaclone setup on here, but it's had a lot of water in it, and while it's a pretty cool old air cleaner, it's rusted and buggered inside where that bloody seal goes on and where the end cap goes on, it's just rotted right away. So I had this one here, which is off one of my old Macs, and yeah, look, it even looks like it's the right colour. So got some new bolts to put on those, on that bracketry there, and got the right size pipes and reducers and things, and with a bit of luck it'll just go straight in, and yeah, look, it'll sit there okay. When they've done the conversion initially, they didn't do a bad job of keeping the bonnets in one piece. So there's really only the one spot just above that elbow there, which might cause a little bit of problem when the bonnet goes back on. But anyway, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. That original Dynaclone air cleaner was actually bolted to these uprights, so it should go on there okay. That's what we'll work with anyway, hopefully. So yeah, that's the plan. So I'm just going to give this area around here a quick little fizz up with the mower. I'm going to charge these batteries up here a little bit, and yeah, bolt that fuel pump back on, and yeah, hopefully, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I'm feeling confident, I might even just hit the key and get ready to jump outside and put a block of wood on the intake. But yeah, I've been caught like that a couple of times, and it always gives you a bit of a fright when they run away. So obviously with that top pipe off it, I just had the supercharger running. You know, it was turning, but it was just shooting straight up into the air, like shooting charged air up into the air rather than into the engine. But yeah, it's still got a fair head of steam up and still made plenty of noise, and yeah, you always bloody get a little bit of a fright when it happens. But even though I was prepared for it, I had a block of wood ready to go. Yeah, so probably just take the safe option and try and rig up a starter button myself and just try and control it all from this side. I mean, before, what I was doing was, because it was cold as well, I hadn't been started for probably 20 years or more, so I was pulling that back, giving it a little bit of a sniff of Aerostart. I had another bloke inside the cab just turning the key and working the throttle, which at the time we thought was working, but it turns out it was just getting full fuel, and yeah, proceeded to get up to revs very quickly anyway. We tried it a couple of times with the throttle in different positions and didn't make a difference. So anyway, hopefully that problem with the pump has been rectified now, and I'll be able to tell you that before too long. So yeah, anyway, with that, I'll leave this part of the video here, and we'll get into a little bit of work, and yeah, it'd be nice to get some action out of this thing. Alrighty, well, I'll sign off and see you all a bit later on.